No, maybe. I don't. Anything out of my headset. Yeah, it sounds better, I think. All right, what's up, fellas? Let's get to it. Time for Wake Up Mintzy. So much ball to talk today. It's Monday. I mean, Halloween weekend. Greatest World Series possibly of my entire life. I still can't believe it. I watched over the weekend. And I know Tyler Moody going to join us in a second to talk about that. Huge Halloween weekend. College football, NFL going nuts. I don't know what the hell is going on in this college football coaching carousel. We'll try to make some sense of it. And college hoops tips off tonight. I mean, it's the best time of year in sports, and love to be right here to talk about it. And as always, our friends on DraftKings. Here to support us as well. Getting ready. We got a Monday night parlay. We're going to get ready. I've gone a little cold. I was so hot for a while, and the last couple of weeks, we've been cooling off, but that doesn't mean we're not going to keep firing. That's for damn sure. We got a wild Monday night game on our hands. Anytime there's a game in Dallas this year, they've scored 40 points. So hopefully let's find a parlay. Let's prop it off. Let's make some money. Waiting on Tyler Moody to pop on here. I think should be in a second.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me is the question.
But a lot of stuff to get into from the weekend. First of all, hope everybody had a happy Halloween. We had so much fun on the Yak Friday. I mean, what a show. Had Plinko. We had the Halloween costume contest. I was talking to myself in the Mostly Sports studios, decked out in a vampire outfit the whole time. But love that show on Friday. I know everybody. I love seeing all the kids dressed up for Halloween all weekend too. It's always so much fun. Shout out my godson, who's 11, dressed up as a New Orleans Ain't. He had the bag over his head and everything. I mean, I got to respect that because now the Saints are 1-8, and they're every bit of that 1-8 record after getting shellacked by the Rams. A ton of college football stuff happened on Saturday. I guess one big upset, Georgia Tech was undefeated. They went down to NC State 48-36, so they're no longer undefeated. But other than that, there weren't really a ton of upsets on Saturday. The Georgia-Florida game I thought was excellent. Georgia ended up, boy, that was torture if you had Georgia in the over. Georgia ended up kneeling it on Florida's one, up 24-20 when they could have run it in and covered. I saw Big Cat posted about that. But other college football stuff from Saturday was fun. The one game that was really interesting to me was the Oklahoma-Tennessee game in Knoxville. Oklahoma really proved something to me. Going on the road, winning there 33-27. That was kind of a playoff elimination game. And what ended up happening there is Tennessee's out with 3 losses. They're cooked now. But, I had Tennessee in that game. I was wrong. But Oklahoma's played one of the toughest schedules in the country, and to get through that with only 2 losses is impressive. They still have at Alabama, at Missouri, and LSU at home, and they probably have to win out to make the playoffs. But got to give them a ton of props for pulling that game out on the road in Knoxville in a spot I didn't necessarily think they could. I'm obviously thrilled as an Ole Miss Rebel today. Ole Miss 30-14 went on in front of a rocking crowd on Saturday night at the Vaught in Oxford. I thought Pete Golding's defense, after getting just shredded by Georgia a few weeks ago, they bounced back so strong against Oklahoma and South Carolina. Had 6 sacks, 3 picks, dominant effort. And all of a sudden, Ole Miss 8-1, Citadel at home, Florida at home, bye week at Egg Bowl. College football playoff rankings coming out tomorrow night for the first time. I expect Ole Miss to be at 6 or 7. And with that schedule, they got it all in front of them. I mean, it's never been a better time to be a Reb. And obviously Lane Kiffin's name continuing to float around like crazy in the coaching stuff, as it always does. But I still feel extremely good about him staying at Oxford and just so happy about what's going on with the Rebs. Lane's 47-14 in his last 61. That's freaking crazy. How's that even real? Best era for Ole Miss football since the 1960s. Ohio State smacked Penn State. I got that one right. Julian saying Heisman Trophy favorite now. Jeremiah Smith over 102 touchdowns. I mean, that damn team's a war machine. It's crazy how good they are, and they'll certainly be undefeated when they head up to play Michigan in a few weeks. I thought Dave Portnoy was really funny on the Big Noon on Fox. Check that out every Saturday morning. He was wearing a shirt that was 2,149 days since Ohio State's beaten Michigan, because it goes back to 2019 because they didn't play the COVID year. But that. You got to respect Dave for always trolling Ohio State, even when Michigan's struggling to beat Purdue by 5. But, hey, rivalry game, you never know what the hell is going to happen up there.
Can you hear me now,
The NFL stuff I wanted to highlight from Sunday, that Bears-Bengals game was the craziest damn fourth quarter. I said that a couple weeks ago in the Giants-Broncos game when the Broncos scored no points for 3 quarters and scored 33 in the fourth. But, man, the sequence of the Bears-Bengals game, I watched the end of it, and I was just struggling to believe what I saw. The Bears are up 41-27. The Bengals scored, go for 2, make it 41-35. They kick a freaking onside and actually get it, which you never see in pro football. They score, but they leave 50 seconds on the clock, and then the Bears bust a 70-yard touchdown to Colston Loveland to win that game, 47-42. I mean, you just don't see stuff. You don't see stuff like that in pro football, but the Bears are 5-3, and you got to give credit to Ben Johnson because he's got to be turning that culture around, because even if that was a wild game, those are the kind of games you lose in the past. Or we saw them block a field goal at Vegas to win a game, and now this. I mean, you got to give them credit for just finding a way to win. There were a lot of happy Bears fans in the office today. Minnesota Vikings, couple of huge upsets yesterday. First, the Vikings winning in Detroit, and J.J. McCarthy hadn't played since week 2. Man, he came back. He looked like a different player yesterday. Thought he played extremely well against Detroit. And every time you think Kevin O'Connell and Minnesota's getting counted out, man, that coaching staff blows me away. Huge win for them at Detroit, the game they had to have if they want to stay in the playoff race. And then Carolina winning at Green Bay and Lambeau. Who the hell saw that coming? Not this guy for damn sure. Carolina hit a long field goal at the gun to win 16-13 as like a 13-point underdog. Sure, that busted a lot of NFL Survivor leagues. The headlining game, and I say this all the time, I feel like it's a national holiday. Anytime you get a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen matchup, and we had another one, and the Bills winning 28-21, they were able to run out the clock late in the game and not let Mahomes get a final possession. Josh Allen now 5-1 in the regular season against Patrick Mahomes, but he's 0-4 in the playoffs. KC 5-4, and as good as they are, and we all know how good they are, still it's hard to believe they're 5-4 at this point of the year. And with the Denver Broncos winning 18-15, and yet another fourth quarter comeback, that's all Bo Nix and Sean Payton do. The offense just looks like crap for 2 or 3 quarters, and they come back in the fourth every week. It's never really seen anything like it, their ability to pull out these games. And the Chargers also winning at Tennessee. KC's got a tough path to win that AFC West. And, they were the Super Bowl favorites going into yesterday at plus 450, and now they're like plus 650 or plus 700 off that loss. So if you believe in the Chiefs, maybe a good time to buy back in. I mentioned the New Orleans Saints thing. Tyler Shuck started his first career NFL game. It was about exactly what you expected. He threw a pick at the end. He could have thrown more. He's not mobile. And the Rams just took the Saints, beyond the woodshed. 34-10 in a game that wasn't that close. The Saints had the ball for under 15 freaking minutes in the game. It was one of the lowest time of possessions, like 4th lowest in NFL history. I will say, the Rams look like a Super Bowl team. And, Moody and I both said that going into the year. If Matt Stafford stays healthy with them adding Devontae Adams in their running game and with Puka, the other receiver, and they've got so much young talent on defense, look out for this team. And that NFC West continues to be tough. The Niners got a big road win at the Giants. And then the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football just came out and beat the Washington Commanders literally from pillar to freaking post, 38-14. And so much talk today about Jaden Daniels out there down 38-7 with 8 minutes to go when he's been hurt twice this year already. And he sustained a bad arm injury. And I know it's like an armchair quarterbacking thing. And, Daniels hadn't been out there, and they're getting their ass kicked. So they're trying to get some rhythm and continuity and all that, but I still think you got to take him out. And that was a big debate on Wake Up Barstool with Dave Portnoy and Gruden and Olsen. And you can kind of see both sides because, they were about to be 3-6, and Daniels hadn't been out there, and they got to get something going. But I just don't see how you could risk losing your starting quarterback in a game you're down by 31 when he's already been hurt. And the Seahawks were hitting the crap out of him. None of those receivers could get open. And I know that's like a wishful armchair quarterback thinking, but seemed kind of senseless to me to allow him to get hurt in that spot. But maybe that's just me. Who knows? Once again, got to talk about just greatest World Series I can remember. That Game 7, I'm actually heartbroken for Blue Jays and their fans. They kind of became the lovable team in the playoffs, especially Vlad. And that Game 7 had more twists and turns than any I can really ever remember. You look at that Toronto up 4-3 going into the ninth. Dodgers hit a solo homer to tie it. The Blue Jays get the bases loaded to win it. And the Dodgers second baseman makes a good play, loses his balance, bang, bang, play at the plate, get him out, and they get out of that jam on a rocket to left center where the Dodgers center fielder, who Dave Roberts had just put in for defense, makes this leaping catch and just knocks over the left fielder to save the season for the Dodgers. And then Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, hits a solo homer in the 11th for the Dodgers to win back-to-back World Series. Like I said, it's so heartbreaking for Toronto. Hadn't won one since 1993, and to lose like that, on your home field. The Dodgers turned into a dynasty. They're just unbelievable, and can't say it's any kind of a surprise they won it. But just as a pure sports fan, it just doesn't get any better than that World Series. And so, I want to make sure I highlighted that. A bunch of stuff going on at Barstool. Moot can't sleep tonight. It's got a fun stream. We got Barstool. We got a huge Barstool After Dark dodgeball edition tomorrow. We have 3 of the top 5 teams in college sports: Ohio State, Grand Valley State, and Michigan State, all going to be here. And our ship of fools gets to play dodgeball against them. I've got a pretty big role in it too, but I don't want to spoil that yet. But that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun tonight. I want to shout out Wake Up Barstool, too. I've been watching it every morning. Really think that show's kind of coming together, and everybody's doing an awesome job. And so I've kind of gotten into that tradition where I wake up every morning, throw that on, and it's really good. College basketball also starts tonight. So much going on. I guess when one door closes with baseball, another door opens. But college basketball started tonight. Florida and Arizona playing in Vegas. Should be a great game at 6. Defending national champion Florida Gators. Got a new backcourt, but still have their front court back. They got a couple transfers. They're hyped up. Arizona off a Sweet 16 appearance, losing to Duke. Should be good for sure. I'm excited about the Ole Miss season tipping off a Sweet 16 year. They will be taking on Southeast Louisiana tonight. A game that's not near as exciting, but nonetheless should still be a lot of fun. Too, as with our partners at DraftKings, got to put together a little Monday Night Football parlay. Arizona at Dallas. These Cowboys games in Jerry World have just been buck wild all year long, and I don't see any reason why that'll be different tonight. We got an over-under of 53.5 in this game. Kyler Murray out for Arizona. Again, Jacoby Brissett going to start. Dallas's offense, while ranked one of the top in the NFL, 3 home games so far this year have scored at least 40, and they're on the road. They've been scoring in the 20s. So it's just not necessarily the same when they hit the road. But guess what? This game's in Jerry World on that turf. They're a 3-point favorite, 53.5. And when I'm looking at some parlays for tonight, I'm on DraftKings. We got a 20% boost. Got to always fire the boost. Tonight, though, 20% boost. And I'm going to fire some stuff. Look, I mean, it's pretty simple. I like Dallas -3 and over 53.5. I think they're a better team at home. And then Dak Prescott just throws for so many yards at home. So I'm going to go Dak over 300 plus 188. So I'm at plus 625 already with that. And now I got to add maybe 1 or 2 more here to finish this thing out. I'm looking at receiving props. First, I'm going to look at the touchdown score market. Javonte Williams minus $1.60. McBride plus 100. Not the most value. CeeDee Lamb plus 105. Ferguson plus 115. George Pickens plus 125. When I'm in the touchdown game, I kind of go for longer shots, but no one goes for longer shots than Jersey Jerry, the living legend, who hit a 475-1 parlay yesterday. $200 to win $95K.
Can you hear me now, Max?
With Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, J.J. McCarthy, and Caleb Williams. And shout out Stefan, the MVP of Barstool. Just figured out that my headphones weren't plugged in right, and that was why I couldn't hear me.
Can you hear me now?
Either. Oh, yeah.
So let's get into this, because I text Stefan like, hey, bro, Vince can't hear me. And he was like, I can't figure it out. Like, he was looking at it. And I said, is there a chance that he has a set of headphones that are not plugged in? I think your headphones weren't plugged in, man.
That's 100% what it was. And Stefan just fixed it and was smirking. Shout out Stefan. He deals with so much here and does such a good job, but especially dealing with me. And, he was back here looking at stuff for the last 10 minutes, and then he just went over there, plugged the headphones in, just looked at me, shook his head, and just walked out. So, better man than all I am. But Moody, how we doing today?
I'm doing tremendous, man. Everything is good. I had some fighter meetings today and everything, so now ready to talk a little ball. Chat was loving watching you kind of
fluster,
just going with no. You were a little bit flustered, just filibustering.
I thought I did pretty good.
Really no, you did. You did. We're all amazed by how you can just continually rattle off everything, because you have so much sports knowledge that you are able to hold on to, and it was essentially everything that happened this weekend. But I do want to talk more about the World Series, because
I do too.
That's my thing. Let's get into
shout
it.
out chat, by the way. Chat, any questions or anything you got, fire away as always. You are our guys, and we've got plenty to say here. All right, Moody, World Series. I mean, hit me with all your thoughts.
Best World Series of my lifetime. Could not have asked for anything better. You go get 7 games, you get extra innings in Game 7. I think the one everybody's talking about, the Will Smith home run, the catch by Pajes, and there's so many small things that go into this. This was a game of literal inches throughout the entire series. But I think the person that deserves the most credit is Dave Roberts. He pushed every button so correctly in this series. Dropped Mookie down in the lineup, came up with the big hit in Game 6. Had Will Smith in the 2-hole, hit the big home run at the end of Game 7. Puts Miguel Rojas into the lineup in Game 6. makes some great defensive plays, and then obviously had the huge home run that just saved their entire season. I mean, what a moment. Clearly the pinnacle of his entire career, and he's a dude that's been around for such a long time. Rojas deserves credit.
Rojas
Dave
also
Roberts
made that
deserves the
play.
most credit.
Rojas made that play in the ninth where he was off balance and threw it home, and Will Smith stepped off home and barely got him in that bang bang play too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many plays that he made, and one of the most undervalued moment in the entire series, I think, was the fact that Dave Roberts decided to put Andy Pajas in center field for Tommy Edman at the end of that game, and that long fly ball in the ninth inning that would have won the game for him potentially. I don't think Kike catches that. He's close to it. I don't know if he catches it. I know Tommy Edman doesn't catch it, but Pajas just goes over his head, grabs that ball, saves the entire series, and he wasn't even in the original lineup. Dave Roberts put him in the game that inning. He foresaw something like this happening. He wanted Pajas' strong arm in center field in case there was a play at the plate. Ultimately, Andy ends up running that ball down. What a series. You got to give the Blue Jays a ton of credit. But, man, I just think Dave Roberts, after catching so much shit a couple years ago, ends up doing a hell of a job in this series.
No doubt. How about Yamamoto coming at back? All those guys coming back and having to pitch extra innings too. I mean, what, dude? He was just unbelievable in that series.
No, he was tremendous. And look, he ended up being the MVP. He deserved it. Sorry, I had to take my nicotine out real quick. But he deserved it, brother. The fact that he had the balls to warm up in the 18 inning game, doing his thing, throwing the complete game, balling out in game 6, giving them another win, holding the Blue Jays to 1 run, and then telling coach, like, hey, if you need me, I'm ready to go in game 7. Dave Roberts has the balls to actually go to him after throwing 100 pitches. And if you've never thrown 100 pitches in a day, the amount of lactic acid buildup you get in your arm is crazy. And I wasn't even throwing 95 miles an hour with a nasty splitter. You know what I mean? So, like, just for me trying to throw the next day after 100 pitches was, you couldn't do it. You needed to be running that next day to try and get it out. Shout out to Yamamoto for not only having the balls to go in that spot, but being that brilliant the day after 96 pitches. I mean, just tremendous stuff. Everybody on both teams contributed. The Blue Jays get Bichette back. He hits the big 3-run home run. George Springer, playing through injury, had big moments as well. Then you just go up and down the Dodgers lineup. I mean, literally every single person contributed. Credit to both GMs for having deep enough benches and enough guys that could be inserted into these certain situations to step up. So, greatest World Series of my lifetime. I actually am going to go back and watch Game 7 later tonight while the Cowboys game is on. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow, but I want to rewatch the entire thing because I was doing fights and I kind of had to watch it, here and there. I was able to watch the final 3 innings and just couldn't have asked for a better World Series. I mean, playoff baseball, that is as good as it gets.
It was, man, and I'm heartbroken for Toronto. That team was just such a fun team, and it's just like Vlad hit that changeup off the end of his bat. He almost got all of it in the ninth. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine if he did a walk-off homer to end Game 7, man. God.
Place would have gone crazy. I mean, they went nuts when Bichette hit that 3-run home run. The roof would have come off the building when he did that. And credit to Vlad, bottom of the 11th inning, comes up, rips the double to lead off the inning, put himself and the Blue Jays in a spot to win that game. And, look, I think the Blue Jays did everything right. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa had come into the game for Bo Bichette. I would bunt in that situation as well. You move Vladdy over with 1 out. If you get a sac fly, you tie the game. But then I thought the Dodgers did the right thing. They pitched around, who was it? Hitting 5, not Varsho, but Barger pitched around him in the 5 spot. And then because you have a double play candidate in Alejandro Kirk, it was just perfectly played on both sides. Like, it sucks there had to be a loser in this series because it was perfectly played baseball. I mean, that's the pinnacle. There was very few mistakes in this series. There was just crazy moments. The ball getting stuck in the wall in Game 6. You had the Blue Jays almost winning the game by an inch when the play at the plate. It had literally everything you wanted to see. You had a historical performance by Shohei Ohtani. You had one of the greatest performances in baseball history by Yamamoto. Just insane stuff.
They're incredible. But the Dodgers now, the dynasty, I mean, start talking dynasty a little bit, back to back. And I mean, I feel like how many World Series have they won it they won it the COVID year when they beat the Rays. So they've won 3 in 6 years and back to back. And then how many have they been in? Because they did. I mean, I know they've lost. Hadn't they lost one or two of them too?
Yeah, they're certainly a dynasty because they've been there what like feels like the last 5 years in a row. I mean, this
Well, they had the
team,
Rangers,
outside of the
Diamondbacks,
right
Rangers, Diamondbacks,
outside of the year
23.
that yep, I was going to say outside of the year that the Rangers won it and they play the Diamondbacks, it feels like the Dodgers are there every single year. And look, people hate on it. They say there should be a salary cap, all that bull crap. Other teams could have done what the Dodgers did to get Otani. They didn't come up with that kind of plan. Like the Dodgers spent the money, yes, but other teams could have done it as well. So you got to give them a lot of credit. They made the right decisions, and they built a culture there too. It's not just that. Look, the Mets are spending a ton of money as well, but they don't have a real culture. They're just grabbing pieces that are good players, and they're not building a legitimate culture. The guys that they have at the top of their lineup, their top three, some of the best, not only players, but dudes in the game. Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts leading your clubhouse are just two of the best guys you could possibly have on your team. You got the Kikes of the world who are hilarious and can bring that fun energy to the team. The starting rotation is full of studs. But you know what? Other teams could have signed Blake Snell. They could have anteed up even more and gotten Blake Snell. So it's these teams could have done it as well. The Dodgers were ultimately the one that built this dynasty, and they're not. They have a couple questions in free agency. I think Max Muncy's deal is up, Kike's deal is up, but for the most part, they're returning the majority of this team. So they're going to be great once again. You would assume.
Yeah, well, congrats to them. And I come back to the point on the Shohei thing. Anybody could have done that, and yeah, they spent the money, but by getting him, you get that whole. I mean, think about all the fans in Japan. You're going to get more revenue just out of
Yep.
having him. So
Mhm.
you kind of get the money back just on that.
Well, they're the Japanese Dodgers. They got Roki, and the reason that Roki decided to sign there was because they already had Yamamoto and they had Otani, and it's an easier for him to fit in culturally when he's got two Japanese-speaking players. So it all has fallen into place perfectly. I don't think any other team in the MLB could have had the foresight to make all this happen. But credit to the Dodgers for being the team that could, and obviously they were already playing winning baseball beforehand, so people wanted to be there. When you have a winning culture and you're offering the right amount of money, good players are going to want to come to play for you. A couple things in chat. City says, if Toronto had won, would the team visit the White House? I don't think so.
I don't think so, man. With the
I
Canada
don't think
U.S.
so.
stuff
Even if
right
they were
now.
offered, I don't think they would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Canada U.S. stuff.
Stone Papa Smurf asking about how about the Bulgarian fight, unreal rigging. So I don't know if you saw this weekend, Mincy, but there was a rigged fight in the UFC.
Oh
Huge story,
wow.
massive story for sure. It hasn't all been like completely investigated yet, but it's very obvious from what happened. Dolgarian was favored in the fight. He's a stud. He's got great ground game, good submissions and everything. And right before the fight, his opponent goes from like, I think it was like plus 280 on the money line to 140 in a
Oh
matter of like 40 minutes. And
wow.
for a round one victory, there was a ton of money that came in on his opponent for a round one victory. In round one, he goes for a takedown, kind of gets it, ends up putting himself in a really bad spot, gets choked out. It looks like 99% that this was a rigged fight. And if you go back and look, his old coach was already the guy that got in trouble for rigging fights in the UFC. There was a huge investigation. He's no longer part of the UFC. Some fighters got kicked out of the UFC, and this guy was coached by Crouch. So it's a huge situation. I think there'll be more to come on this, but it is one of the biggest stories in sports right now. The potential rigging in the UFC.
Wow, I didn't know about that because it was one of those weekends where with the World Series and college and NFL and
Mhm.
Halloween, and there was so much going on that I didn't even see it. There's just so much sports, and then college basketball starts tonight. I mean, this you always say October's the best, but it's just so much going on right now, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, but you know what? I woke up sad today because there's no World Series. I was legitimately sad. And because it was the playoffs, maybe some of the rounds weren't the best, but we had that Dodgers Mariners series that was incredible. And then the fact that the World Series was that good gave us everything that we wanted. It's been one of the best sports weeks in my entire lifetime. Even though the Rangers weren't there at the end of the season, it was a really good one. Let's see. We missed some things in chat earlier that we can get to now.
Yeah, I'm sure you said the
Um,
chat was commenting on me. Yeah,
yeah,
I
chat
thought I
chat was
thought I held
popping
it
off.
together pretty good for about
You
18,
did?
about 20 minutes.
Yeah, you did know you went through everything for sure. Mr. McIntosh was saying, told y'all that Texas was going to finish strong and they're still talented. I've been saying the exact same thing. Mintz, what's your take on Texas?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I know Vandy ended up backdooring it and almost got that onside at the end, but no, Texas Art Brandon Walker made this point on Unnecessary Roughness. He's not wrong, dude. Sarkisian's just such a beast, coach, and the adjustments he's made on offense. Arch is getting the ball out quick, a lot of short passes. You know, that's the way that the Texas' biggest problem, their offensive line can't run block and their line's bad. And so they've adjusted their offense to just get the ball out quick to their playmakers. And it makes sense for Arch to leap later in the year when he's so young. And they also have they got the number one run defense in the country. And look, as bad as it seemed for Texas, they pulled out the Mississippi State game. They only have 2 losses, Moody. And there's a path to the playoffs for them. Their schedule's tough. They got at Georgia and A&M at home. That's going to be real tough. But his point's not wrong. I mean, they're still a really good football team, and that shows coaching when you improve like that in the year. Because one of my old favorite sayings of college football? They remember in November. And Texas that's a vastly different team than we saw week 1 against Ohio State. No doubt about it.
100%. I think, and I said it here, I thought they were going to build momentum down the stretch, and I still don't think they're like one of the best teams in the country, but I think their talent is starting to show, and obviously Arch taking a small step. I don't think he's taken the step we expected him to take, but he's definitely playing better, and Texas will be a threat to A&M. That's a huge game, one of the biggest rivalry games in all of sports, and they're going to be a real threat to A&M. Chadwick Moffitt was saying Broncos pulled off another fourth quarter win.
Crazy.
What about Sean Payton and his Broncos?
It's crazy to me. Moody, we should be rich off Denver first half unders, man. Because it's like the same game every week where they just can't do anything on offense till like the third quarter, fourth quarter. You know what it kind of reminds me of? The old school Russell Wilson Seahawks were like that. Where like they'd be in these games that were like 9-6 in the third. And then what you see out of Knicks in the fourth is similar to what Wilson used to do, where these pass rushers get tired by the fourth quarter and then they'd end up breaking big runs. And we've seen Knicks do that time and time again. He had that big run on the last drive, but he uses his legs in key spots. And, a lot of that's cultural, man. Sean Payton knows how to win. They got a hell of a defense. Vance Joseph, just amazing defensive coordinator. And the fact that he's even there after he got fired as their head coach and came back as a defensive coordinator, I don't know that I've ever heard of that. Usually when somebody gets fired, they don't come back to the town again, But no, you got to just give them. I mean, their defense is unbelievable, and the offense. I mean, they do enough to win. I mean, I feel like maybe they still need like 1 or 2 like big playmakers, but Bo Nix is good. He definitely is. He can run. He takes care of the ball, and man, it's a hell of a story. And what a division that is too, with the Chargers and Chiefs. I mean, KC's in third in that division right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it really is. And I mean, it's a great program. We said it 2 years ago. We talked about it a lot that Sean Payton was going to build something there. He finally got his quarterback in, give him time to work. He would end up making that a very good team. And that was my favorite play of the week. Under 40.5. Told you guys last week on here.
I took it with you.
Yep, that was my favorite one. Ultimately, that held true. I went 2-2 on Sunday. I had one of those weeks where I lost just a little bit, but I think it was my first losing week of the season. So something to hang my hat on. Mintzy, did you tell Jersey Jerry?
I did not,
Sunday?
but but I'm very happy for him. Even though I didn't take that parlay, but 200 to win 95K, Moody. How do you get 475 to 1, man? That's a once in a lifetime yet.
Yeah, it's a crazy hit. I didn't see the ticket until it was reshared, I guess, when he'd hit 3 of the 4. And
Same.
They had that one. Yeah, they had that one drive where they could have potentially, maybe Lawrence runs it in there. And I was like, damn, I don't know if he's going to get it now, because Jacksonville wasn't playing great. And then he ends up getting he ended up getting 2, I think, late in the game. So shout out to Jersey Jerry. Hell of a hit. He has been on fire with the touchdown props this season. He's balling out of control.
I mean, that one's just crazy. That one yesterday, though, that's a once-in-a-lifetime hit, man. And like I said, I didn't see it till I saw the first 3 hits, same as you. But, I mean, good for him, man. I mean, that's just iconic. And Big Cat hit it big, and then I know it was shared a lot. I mean, I heard stories a lot.
Seemed like there's a lot, yep.
I mean, Meek Phil had 10 to win. Meek Phil just throws $10 on it and wins 47.50. I mean, what a hit, you know?
That's if I ever tell somebody else, I usually only throw like $10 on there. I usually don't trust other people's picks. That's one that I wish I would have seen prior to the game.
And that's one you just throw
Webb,
$5 on, you know?
yeah, I mean, I'll throw a 10 spot on there and hope to hit it. Webb M says he's got a 3K bonus bet with 3-bet minimum. He's looking for props only for a parlay. What you got? What do you have cooked up tonight?
Let's do it, Moody. Let's get on here. And I've been cold. I was so hot on my same game parlays for a few weeks, but I've gone cold the last few weeks. But I think tonight we got a real good opportunity. Because
Well, last Monday I gave you, or last Thursday maybe it was, I gave you Derrick Henry over 110. He got that, but I also said Derrick Henry was going to score. He did not get in the end zone, so I'll take the blame for that one. I gave you 50% good logic there.
Well, the one on the one Thursday was funny because remember I said, what about Andrews plus 185 versus Henry having 2?
Chat brought that up. Yeah, and that's what we should have done.
I know, because we were on the Ravens. I mean, I was on Ravens and I moved it to 9.5.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on it, you know. And my thing with tonight though, there's a great opportunity because this Dallas thing, when they're at home, think about their home games this year. They beat the Giants in overtime. What was that, like 45? Whatever it was in the 40s. When Russell Wilson threw for 450 against them, and they still won. And then they tied Green Bay 40-40 on Sunday night, and then they blew out the Commanders and scored 40-something again. I mean, dude, they're hitting in the 40s. When they're on the road, they score in the 20s, but they're not on the road tonight. And over-under's 53.5. I mean, I know it's basic, but like Dallas -3 and over, I like both because I just don't think – I mean, I think Dallas is just a lot better team at home, and I know the Dallas' defense sucks, but I still don't think Jacoby Brissett can keep up with Dak is my thoughts. I kind of like – if we're trying to get the odds bigger, maybe – okay. Let's put this together. I'm thinking about boosting this alternate total up. It's 54.5. Right now it's like 53.5. Like, let me think. I'm gonna throw it up to 58.5 to get some money boosted on it.
Okay.
All right. And then Dallas. I'm gonna throw. Man, Dallas just went to 3.5 on DraftKings. Damn it! I was trying to get the 3. All right. One thing on the night. I'm looking up. All right. Key thing I use to look at the same game parlays, and I want to share this. On foxsports.com, there's a team defense stat thing, and so I go through the team pass and rush defenses to try to find stuff. So let's take a look at that. The Cardinals have the 19th overall ranked defense, but let's see what the pass run defense splits are, because that's what. All right, this is what I wanted to see. Cardinals have the 25th pass D, allowing 235 a game. So that means the run D's 12th. Who cares? We're not going on the running props. And then we know how bad the Cowboys defense is. All right. I'm thinking Dak's over under, like Dak over 300s plus 186. Moody, what you think? I think you can do it.
Over 300, you said?
Plus 186.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to light it up tonight. My only concern would be that the Arizona offense sputters for some reason in this game, and Dak doesn't have to throw it a ton in the second half, but I think he's going to light them up. This Cowboys offense is built around Dak Prescott and those Maseratis he's got out there on the outside. So, yeah, I mean, I love Dak tonight. I love the over. I love the Cowboys. And, I mean, I could even see Cowboys -6.5 alternate on this potentially. But I really –
No, let's do it.
I think I like Dak as well.
We're doing Dallas -6. We got to boost this parlay. So right now we're 9-1 with Dak over 300. Dallas -6.5 over 58.5. We got to boost, but we need something else to get this thing juicy. I look at the touchdown scorer market. I always talk about the TD thing. Man, the problem is there's just not a lot of big plus money guys I like tonight. And I get why they're doing that. I mean, there's going to be a ton of points, but like. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, even money. McBride, even money. Ferguson plus 115. Pickens plus 125. I mean, I don't love any of that, you know? Marvin Harrison,
that's what I was curious about, was Marvin Harrison potentially.
Well, he's 135 to score, which I don't love. But his yardage his over-under in yardage is only 60. And I think that's too low.
That does feel too low. I just think that Jacoby Brissett, while he's not as elusive, obviously, as Kyler Murray, he has run the passing game better for Arizona. That's what I've seen. I watched a few Arizona games this year, and it just feels like the offense works a little bit better. And especially if they get behind the Cowboys, they're going to throw it in the second half. So I could see, and the Cowboys are actually decent against tight ends. Something to keep in mind. Not like they're elite against tight ends, but they're decent against tight ends in comparison to how they are against receivers. So Marvin Harrison, and he had a big game right before their bye week. Like I think there's a chance that Marvin Harrison could be due for a solid game tonight.
You don't throw okay if you throw hair. I just because you got to play with it to find the big numbers. Marvin, okay right now Dallas minus 6.5, Dak over 300, over 58.5. I threw Marvin Harrison over 80 yards and I got it to 25-1. What do you think of that?
I mean, I like it. I'll ride that for sure because
And
I
then
like the over
with
and I
the
like the Cowboys minus 6.5.
with the boost, it's 30-1.
I mean, 20 spot wins you 600.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. 20 to win 600. All right, so I'll repeat it for the chat. Dak over 300, Marvin Harrison over 80, Dallas minus 6.5, over 58.5. I mean, I think Dallas can score. If they do, I mean, they score high 30s, low 40s again, this thing, and then you're going to see Arizona chunking it from behind. I mean, the Harrison thing's always hit-miss thing because he disappears sometimes, but I like the value on him tonight. Like you said, he had a good game with Brissett, and Dallas is not covering wide receivers at all this year.
Mm-hmm. Stone Papa Smurf said dropped a irresponsible on Ferguson touchdown. You know, here's the thing: Ferguson has called a ton of touchdowns this season. The Cowboys look to him in the red zone. They run play action stuff to him in the red zone. I know he put up an egg last week, which will probably scare a few people. But I would assume he gets some catches in this game. Whether or not he gets in the end zone, look, touchdown, and that's something I wish I did a little bit more was attack yardages instead of touchdowns because I'm bad about going after touchdowns, and they are a little bit more volatile. But I mean, Ferguson's been great in the red zone, so I don't think it's irresponsible to go after Ferguson in this game. I really
No,
don't.
I agree. I just wish it was like plus 150 and not plus 115.
Yeah.
The pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with what I did, and we're going to go with that 30-1. That's the one I'm going to go with. But I agree. I like Dallas tonight too. I just think they're going to outscore Arizona. I mean, but I think it's going to be like 38-24, 38-27. I mean, it's going to be another wild one.
We've seen nothing from this Cowboys defense to suggest they're going to be able to stop anyone. And I legitimately think the Arizona offense is okay. If it was Kyler Murray, I'd take Dallas minus like 16.5 in this game. I actually trust Jacoby Brissett more than I do Kyler Murray from a passing standpoint only.
I was looking at
Mintzy, are you?
Brissett's over in yards, but I think the Harrison one boosted it more because we could have gone Brissett.
Yeah, it's just it's tough to trust. Like they don't have a ton of weapons. It's McBride, Harrison. You've got Michael Wilson. Zay Jones made some plays the other day as well. So that's essentially what you're looking at there. Mincy, are you happy the Saints are going to have Ty Simpson as a quarterback next year?
Man, I don't know what's going on, dude. It's so bad. The big thing with the Saints, so trade deadline in NFL's tomorrow. The Bills have been the Bills have been calling on Olave. That would be interesting if the Bills got him.
Mm-hmm. I think it make a ton of sense. Here's my thought with Olave. Like, I think he is a stud receiver. I think he'd make a great piece for a team that wants to make a run. I just wouldn't want to give him long-term money because of the concussions. So, like, if you can get him for a rental, I think Olave is a great trade for any of these teams that need a wide receiver. But I am not giving Chris Olave legitimate long-term cash. Just can't do it. I think he's one of the biggest risks in the entire NFL as far as his future is concerned.
Yeah, well, Olave's on the trading block. Apparently, the people have been calling about Shaheed, but the Saints, want something good for him, which I can understand.
He's got a couple years left, right?
The one I'm looking at. Do you think Sean P sends a 7th rounder from Denver to snag Hill for the stretch run? Because the Sean P Taysom Hill reunion. I mean, you're not gonna have to. I mean, he's 36. You're not gonna be giving up much, but I just feel like Sean Payton found Taysom Hill, made him what he is. I feel like he'd fit in Denver. I mean, I feel like I could see it coming,
Maybe. I just don't know that he needs him because of the mobility of Bo Nix. One of the reasons that Hill was a legitimate piece at the end of Drew Brees' career is because you had no mobility with Drew Brees. Bo Nix runs the ball a ton around the goal line, so I don't know that you're getting anything like there's already the threat of him using his legs around the goal line. I don't think Taysom Hill is adding as much to this Broncos team as he used to add to Sean Payton's old Saints team, but Sean Payton loves him, so maybe.
It just feels like it would be a full circle of life thing if it
Yeah,
happens.
no, it would. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I just don't know that he's as usable as a piece in Denver as he once was for Sean Payton. Stone Papa Smurf says, give Drake May Olave. That's a team because look, one thing, Kayshon Boutte pulled his hammy this week. I don't know how many games he's going to miss, but I feel like Olave would make a ton of sense in New England, and they're a team that really does need a true number one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And then they also got Drake May on a rookie contract, so they got some money.
Mm-hmm.
That would
Who
be
are some
great.
other guys that you think you could potentially see on the move here at the end of this trade deadline?
Well, Jalen Waddle's an obvious one, but Miami's saying they're not trading him. You know that because obviously they're burning it down in Miami. So I thought he was
Nick
one.
Chubb.
Yeah, I just don't know what are you going to get out of him at this point, though. I mean,
some of these teams just want to add extra bodies as pass rushers. So I actually think he's one of the most likely candidates to get moved at the deadline.
Okay. You say Nick Chubb? Pat? Are you talking about his brother?
Or no, my bad. Bradley Chubb. I said not Nick Chubb.
I was like,
Chubb.
yeah,
Bradley
Bradley's
Chubb.
like a pass rusher.
My bad.
No, I get what
Bradley
you mean.
Chubb.
But yeah,
my bad.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are out of it, obviously, but I don't know. Those are kind of the names that I've been watching the Saints thing pretty close. But the Patriots thing, I mean, I think you're right. Now that got brought up, the Pats Olave move make so much sense. Gosh, that's a move that needs to happen, to be honest.
Because Olave, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Like I just, the Saints have been dealing with cap issues for so long. Like you don't even have your quarterback at the moment. It doesn't feel like, it's just it would make sense for the Saints to move Olave.
It would, and I don't know that Olave's been happy in NOLA either, to be flat out honest. And nor should he be. All the concussions he's taken for this god awful team. I can't necessarily fault that. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. But yeah, I'm curious.
Do you think the Raiders will move Jacoby Myers, a guy that was rumored to be moved prior to the season? The Raiders are obviously going nowhere. He's done very little this season. I don't know. He's been injured in and out of the lineup. Do you think Jacoby Myers could be on the move, and where could you see him going?
That's another going back to New England. There is another candidate.
Yeah,
with him being an expat. I think they do move him. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, Brock. By the way, how about that Brock Bowers return yesterday? 112 for
38 fantasy points.
Yeah, 129 and 3 touchdowns. Crazy.
Yeah, I think he's probably somebody that I could see moved. Shout out to Brock Bowers for sure. Just kind of looking through the teams at this point. There's a bunch of teams here that are still somewhat in the playoff hunt. It's not, their seasons aren't over. This isn't one of those years where there's like 6 teams already that it's like, okay, their season is completely dead. Teams that I would,
teams that are dead.
Honestly, Saints and Raiders.
Titans,
but I don't know if they have a whole lot to move around. Maybe they would try and get rid of Calvin Ridley's money, but I don't think so.
Miami's dead too.
Yeah. And are the Commanders dead at this point?
Yes, they are. I mean, they're 3-6, and have they announced how long Jaden's out with the arm injury yet?
I mean, I would assume it's probably at this point it feels like a season injury as bad as it looked. I mean, it looked atrociously bad. So I haven't looked yet personally, but that was a bad looking injury.
Yeah, they're done. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think they're totally done. I'll tell you one team that ain't done, Moody, that I want to comment on, and I know that they played the Saints, but you and I's Rams Super Bowl call is really coming together. Man, that bunt. If Stafford stays healthy, they are going to be so tough to beat in the playoffs, man. I mean, they got the good running game. The Devontae Adams move has paid off huge. Puka's back healthy now. Just the defense has got Jared Verse and all the studs up front. I mean, they're so well. The McVay Stafford's just so well coached. Like, they're going to be. I mean, I would argue they're the favorite in the NFC right now. I mean, not a big one because it's wide open, but and obviously the Seahawks are a huge story right now too. And the Seahawks thing, whoever their GM is, I don't know if John Schneider's still there. I know he was there with Pete Carroll forever. But man, the moves he made this offseason, I mean, you could not have gotten it more right. I mean, they brought Clint Kubiak, who's the Saints offensive coordinator last year. He's crushing. You get rid of Geno and you pay Darnold. And it was kind of one of those moves at the time. It was like, oh, Darnold was better, but like, is he that much better? Oh, yeah, he's a lot better. And then they used that money to pay Darnold, and then they knew they couldn't commit long term to DK with the Darnold contract. You know, you trade DK as a franchise receiver. That's a ballsy move, but you knew you had JSN, who now leads the NFL in receiving. I mean, that whole thing couldn't have been orchestrated better the way that's worked out. You got to give him a ton of credit.
No, you do, and you got to give Sam Darnold a ton of credit for bouncing back because his career was just in the shitter. I mean, it really was. And then he had a terrible finish at the end of last season, but he's come back and he's led them to a 6-2 record. They're 4-0 on the road. He was perfect last night, 21 to 24, 330 and 4 scores. I mean, they're playing great ball. I don't think they're a threat to a team like the Rams. Cause like that pat, if you it's this simple. If you can get Sam Darnold uncomfortable, you can make things go awry very quickly. So like I think Seattle's gonna have a really good regular season. I worry about them in the postseason against the Rams or the Eagles. And so I agree with you. I think the Rams should be. Of course, we both picked them. I have their 20-1
Same.
ticket to win the Super Bowl. So hopefully they'll get it done for us. But I love them in the NFC.
+7. They're +750 now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were on that. That was both of our picks for the year. They look good, man. I know it was the Saints, but they took care of business. Stafford's slinging the shit out of it right now. Golly, he's my favorite quarterback in the league. It was Tony Romo for the longest time. It's Matthew Stafford now. It's just so fun to watch him play the game, and yeah, I love the Rams. They have everything. I worry about teams that can run the ball against them. They've done a pretty good job of stopping the run this year. But remember what happened to them last season against the Eagles. They got it run down their throat. So that's how you beat the Rams. You run the damn ball if you can. You do not want to get in long distance situations against them and allow that pass rush to get going.
Yeah, they're so well. The McVay Stafford combo just gives you so much confidence in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. That coach quarterback combo is tough.
Stone Papa Smurf was saying, is the Puka injury serious? Could see Jacoby going to the Rams. I don't think it's serious. It was a chest injury. They said he could have come back into the game, so he should be fine. I think it's just one of those things where it felt worse than it was type things, and he should be good to go.
Agreed. But yeah, once again,
What,
we got
real quick. Who was the best? This kind of brought it to me. Who was the best free agent signing this offseason? I would say Devontae Adams certainly has to be in the running for that.
Well, the Darnold thing, I mean, he was kind of a free. I mean, he was a free agent, so I think you got to say Sam Darnold because he was a free agent,
Okay.
and a lot of teams, he had the one good year last year, and a lot of teams weren't sure if they were going to commit big money to him, and Seattle gave him $35 million a year. And they said this is our guy, and what he's come in. I mean, I think that's got to be. But then I know we finally had the Daniel Jones back to earth game yesterday. I mean, you and I were both talking about like we knew not to trust the Colts in that game. I was like, one of these games is going to happen. But he turned the ball over. He turned the ball over like 5-6 times yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was 4. And I said it here last week, and that I didn't have the balls to put it in on Sunday because they were 7-1. The Steelers are coming off a terrible week, and we both said it. I mean, I was like, I think the Steelers win this game, and I didn't have the nuts to put my money on it. But yeah, I wish I would have. And it's kind of exactly what I said about the Colts weeks ago. I think they're going to be elite at home. I worry about them on the road against good defenses. Like I still don't trust Daniel Jones that much. I think this game was the perfect example of that. It really was. So here's the thing: if they get home field advantage in the playoffs, you got to feel kind of good about them. But if they cannot run the ball and they get behind and they have to put it all on Daniel Jones, I don't trust him. And whenever you have them, I wouldn't say Michael Pittman got taken away in that game completely, but he got hindered enough, and it put everything on Alec Pierce and Joshua Downs, who had good games statistically, but it made things that much harder on Daniel Jones. So I'm just curious to see if the Colts have to go on the road in the playoffs and they're going up against an elite corner like Denver potentially, can Daniel Jones really handle that? I don't know that he can.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. So Tyler Warren, I thought was going to have a way bigger game yesterday. too. I thought after Tucker Kraft cooked Pittsburgh, and I think he had like 4 or 5 for 26. That was disappointing. I thought.
He should have had more. There was two opportunities that got that were, I think three maybe, that got tipped that were headed Tyler Warren's way. He would have had a touchdown probably if it wasn't a great play by the Steelers defender. So yeah, credit to Pittsburgh. I think they deserve as much credit in that game as, knocking the Colts deserves as well. TJ Watt, solid, made tons of plays. How do we feel about Josh Downs' fantasy stock going forward?
It's just too much with Pittman and Alec Pierce and Warren. Like I just don't think I can trust him week to week. There's just too many guys.
He will, yeah, he's the guy that, this is going back to what I said. If there's a lockdown corner on the opposing defense that's going to draw Michael Pittman, I think Alec Pierce and Joshua Downs, those will be the weeks that you want to look at them. I think if there's not a lockdown corner and Michael Pittman can go feast, I'm looking at Pittman. So that's kind of how I would judge it. But Mintz is right. There's too much volatility with Joshua Downs. He's going to have some weeks like he did this week. He's going to have some duds for you as well. So that's how I would attack Joshua Downs. I personally don't own him anywhere, but he's going to have some pop off games. He's going to have some duds.
Two other things I want to address on fantasy. Did this Bengals thing, 80 points the last 2 weeks, and they went 0-2. The T. Higgins comeback with Flacco. Everybody's been talking about Jamar Chase. Dude, Higgins has been cooking with Flacco, man. He had one on 130 and 2 touchdowns yesterday. But yeah, he's been a huge benefactor. But that ending sequence of that game, man, that was just, I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Well, one of the things is, and it's like you're seeing T. Higgins make spectacular catches on these touchdowns too. Joe Flacco was not afraid to let his talented receivers go up and make a play. Jake Browning played the game so damn scared. I mean, my God, he was terrified. Never settled in the pocket, which again, that's not really his fault. But he would never take the shots, and Joe Flacco is willing to throw the ball up in man-to-man coverage and let T. Higgins go get the damn ball. And T has been doing that. So credit to him. Jamar Chase had another good game. Nothing crazy this week, but those two are going to thrive. The best thing to happen to any players in fantasy football this season was Joe Burrow going to the Bengals.
Or Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, my bad. Obviously Burrow's there. Yeah, my bad.
No. It was funny. Al Michaels called him Joe Burrow on the Thursday night game.
Easy to do. Easy to do when you're talking about the Bengals, saying Joe Burrow and meaning Joe Flacco. Mr. McNaughton says Javonte Williams anytime touchdown tonight.
I mean, he'll score. It's just minus 160 is a terrible price. But yeah, I mean, I do think he scores.
Yep.
I mean, I think he gets in the end zone.
I was the only person beating the drum for Javonte Williams coming into this year. Mintz and Che were fading him pretty hard, and I
was fading him. I was so against him. Shea wasn't as hard against him.
Mintz and I are usually on the same wavelength about a lot of things. This was one we were on complete opposite sides about. Because I just remember what Javonte Williams was at one point. It just felt like things really got out of control and out of his hands in Denver. Sean Payton didn't like him. They were running a 3 running back rotation. And going to Dallas, it just felt like the right fit. So I have Javonte Williams in every league except for one. I'm a big Javonte Williams guy. And I think he scores tonight as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you guys think it was a bad move for the Raiders to draft Ashton Genty? I think they should have drafted Mimboa. That line is ass.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't love the Genty move when it happens. I think he's still going to be a good NFL running back. It's just when you draft him as high as they did, you need him to be Bijan Robinson, and he's never going to be that.
It's kind of like having one of the best engines in the world and having no tires on your car. It's kind of the best way to describe it. You know what I mean? Like, this kid's got a ton of talent, but this Raiders team, this line in particular, is just terrible. They can't get him holes. He's getting hit at the line a ton. Tons of talent there. I don't blame them for drafting him. They thought that he could change their franchise, but you got to have the dudes to block for him. Now, the Raiders are going to get high draft picks probably for the next couple years. Now you go with those offensive lineman pieces to make it happen and, grab something in free agency because they definitely need it.
Yeah, no doubt. Other fantasy thing, the Parker Washington thing we were kind of on, and he had a huge game.
Mm-hmm.
Once Hunter.
Yeah, well, the thing about the Raiders, they're just so bad against the slot receiver, and as soon as Travis Hunter went out. You knew that it was going to have to be Parker Washington. I played him in my guillotine league, back against the wall type play. Parker Washington came through for me, put up a pretty solid performance. I think he had 16 and a half fantasy points. Um, Teams that struggle against the slot, Parker Washington is going to have good games. Teams that defend the slot well, he will not be a factor. It'll be Brian Thomas.
There you go. There you go. Well, once again, tonight's parlay 30-1 with the 20% boost on DraftKings. Dak over 300, Dallas minus 6.5, over 58.5, and Marvin Harrison over 80. It's going to be a party in Dallas. Moot can't sleep. He's got a stream tonight. The Barstool After Dark is going to be wild tomorrow. Dodgeball, Moody.
When was the last time you played dodgeball?
Man, I loved it when I was. Well, we used to play slaughter ball when I was a kid at Alpine Camp. Like it was kind of similar. But yeah, I can't remember since my childhood. So
Dodgeball, one of my favorite things growing. I have dodgeball trophies. I won a 200-person free for all dodgeball tournament one time. Love dodgeball. I mean, obviously being a pitcher, I could throw from all kind of arm slots and stuff, and just I loved it. It's my favorite game. Favorite. I'd play professional dodgeball right now if I could. Like it would be. It's one of my favorite sports in the world.
damn, I wish you could be here tomorrow night then, because we need you.
I would, brother, I would love it.
Yeah, we need you for sure. Well, we're gonna once again we'll release that parlay. But we're gonna get out of here, dude. Shout out chat, love y'all. We try to respond to everything, and shout out Stefan and Moody for that was an interesting start to the show, to say the least. But
Yeah, it was. Final thing from chat. What is our favorite pizza from big chains?
I
I
never
am a
really
Papa
eat.
John's fan, Chadwick Moff.
Are
Muffin.
you? I'm not really a chain pizza guy, especially living in Chicago. But you know what? It is a chain because there's 22 of them. Look. I'm in Chicago. I go to the Nancy's on Washington and Carpenter all the time in West Loop. They've got 22 locations now. They're all over Illinois, and they've got them in Atlanta and Raleigh, North Carolina. But man, I ride hard for Nancy's, dude. I mean, I think their tavern style. I get the gluten-free thin crust. It's freaking awesome. They've got this. Like their version of deep dish is stuffed pizza, and if you like that, theirs is real good. That's just something I can only eat like once every 6 months because it's too heavy. But man, I want to give some serious love to Nancy's. I'm in there like once a week. I think it's phenomenal. I go sit at the bar in there, and anybody in Chicago that's listening, I mean, you'll probably see me in there. I'm there all the time.
Well, y'all heard it here first. Minty rides Nancy hard. I'm out of here, boys. Let's hit this parlay tonight.
Sounds good, buddy. Take it easy, bud.